The rain was coming down in sheets as I drove home, the wipers of my Ford struggling to keep up. I am Cadman, 44, and a mechanic by trade. Usually I love the sound of rain on the garage roof, the way it drowns out the clatter of wrenches and the roar of engines. But tonight, the storm felt like a reflection of the turmoil brewing inside me. I lived in a small town in Vermont, a place where everyone knows everyone, and secrets like the autumn leaves eventually fall. A few weeks ago, my life was simple content. I had Inez, my wife of 15 years, a cozy home, and a job I enjoyed. Inez worked as a real estate agent, always dressed impeccably, her smile as polished as the houses she sold. We met at a local diner, her laughter catching my ear above the sizzle of bacon and the chatter of regulars. We were different, but we fit. Or so I thought. The first sign that something was amiss was subtle, a change in Inez's routine. She started working late, attending networking events she'd never mentioned before. Her phone became her constant companion, its screen lighting up with messages she'd quickly dismiss when I entered the room. I tried to brush it off. Inez was ambitious, driven, and I admired that about her. But a nagging feeling persisted, a knot tightening in my stomach with each passing day. One evening, I decided to surprise her at work. I brought her favorite coffee from the diner and drove to the real estate office, a quaint building on Main Street. The lights were on, but the office was empty. I called her, but her phone went straight to voicemail. She must be showing a house, I reasoned, trying to quell the unease that was growing stronger. As I turned to leave, I noticed a car parked around the back, a sleek black Mercedes I didn't recognize. Curiosity, or perhaps a darker instinct, led me to it. I peered inside and my blood ran cold. On the passenger seat lay a scarf, a silk scarf I'd given Inez for her birthday, a scarf she always wore. I felt a surge of anger, hot and blinding. I wanted to smash the windows, confront whoever was inside, but I forced myself to calm down, to think. I needed proof, concrete evidence before I confronted Inez. I drove home, the rain now a furious torrent, mirroring the storm inside me. I went to bed, but sleep eluded me. I replayed the last few weeks in my mind, searching for clues I'd missed, signs I'd ignored. The next morning, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I called in sick to work, telling my boss I had a nasty flu. He grumbled but gave me the day off. With Inez at work, I had the house to myself. I knew invading her privacy was wrong, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being played. I started with her laptop, a sleek MacBook she used for work. It was password protected, but I knew Inez. She wasn't tech savvy. I tried our anniversary date, our birthdays, our dog's name. Nothing. Then I remembered something Shed said a few weeks ago about a new client she was particularly excited about. I typed in his name, Kester Sterling. The laptop unlocked. A wave of nausea washed over me as I scrolled through her emails. There were messages to Kester, filled with flirtatious banter and veiled innuendo. But it was the later emails that made my heart sink. Emails arranging secret meetings, late-night dinners, and weekend getaways. Emails filled with lies. I felt betrayed, humiliated like a fool. But there was something else in those emails, something that made my blood boil. Kester was married. He was using Inez just as she was using me. I printed out the emails, every single one, and put them in a file. I needed to confront her, but I wanted to be prepared. I wanted her to know that I knew everything. That evening, Inez came home late, her cheeks flushed, her eyes sparkling. "Long day, honey?" I asked, trying to keep my voice neutral. "You have no idea," she said, throwing her purse on the counter. "I'm exhausted." "I made dinner," I said, gesturing to the table. "Let's eat." We sat in silence, the only sound the clinking of our forks against the plates. I watched Inez, studying her face, trying to reconcile the woman I loved with the woman who had betrayed me. "Something wrong, Cadman?" she asked, noticing my gaze. "I need to ask you something, Inez," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "What is it?" "Who is Kester Sterling?" Her face paled. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. "I know about the emails, Inez," I continued, pulling the file from under the table. "I know about the meetings, the dinners, the getaways. I know everything." She stared at the file, her eyes wide with panic. "Cadman, I can explain," she stammered. "Explain what, Inez?" I asked, my voice rising. "Explain how you could betray me like this. Explain how you could lie to my face. It's not what you think, she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far. It just happened, I repeated, incredulous. You didn't mean for it to go this far. You were having an affair, Inez. You were sleeping with another man. I know, she sobbed. I'm so sorry, Cadman. Please forgive me. Forgive her? How could I forgive her? She had shattered my trust, destroyed our marriage. I stood up, my hands shaking with anger. Get out, Inez, I said, my voice cold. Get out of my house. Cadman, please don't do this, she pleaded. I love you. I can change. I can make things right. It's too late, Inez, I said. It's over. She left, slamming the door behind her. I stood there alone in the silence, the rain still pounding against the windows. I felt numb, empty. My world had been turned upside down and I didn't know how to put it back together. The next few weeks were a blur. I filed for divorce, hired a lawyer, and tried to navigate the legal maze. Inez moved out, taking most of her things with her. The house felt empty, hollow. I spent my days at the garage, losing myself in the familiar rhythm of work. But even there, I couldn't escape the pain. Every happy couple, every loving gesture was a reminder of what I had lost. One afternoon, a woman walked into the garage. She was tall, elegant, with a quiet grace about her. I'm looking for Cadman, she said. I am Cadman, I replied, wiping my hands on a rag. My name is Gwyneth, she said. I'm Kester Sterling's wife. My heart skipped a beat. I knew this wasn't going to be a pleasant conversation. I know about the affair, she said, her voice calm but firm. I've known for a while. I am sorry, I said, not knowing what else to say. I didn't know he was married. I believe you, she said. Kester has a history of this. He's a serial cheater. I am here because I want to stop him. She told me about Kester's lies, his manipulation, his pattern of infidelity. She told me how he had drained her emotionally and financially, how he had isolated her from her friends and family. I'm going to expose him, she said. I'm going to take him down. I was intrigued. I had considered confronting Kester myself, but I knew it wouldn't solve anything. But Gwyneth's plan, her determination, resonated with me. How can I help? I asked. Together, we devised a plan. Gwyneth had access to Kester's financial records, his business dealings, his secret accounts. She provided me with evidence of his fraudulent activities, his tax evasion, his illegal schemes. I, in turn, used my connections in the town to gather more information, to uncover his hidden assets, his secret investments. We worked tirelessly, driven by a shared desire for justice. We compiled a dossier, a damning indictment of Kester's crimes. Then we went to the authorities. The investigation was swift and thorough. Kester was arrested, charged with multiple counts of fraud, embezzlement, and tax evasion. His empire crumbled, his reputation shattered. He faced years in prison, his life in ruins. Inez was devastated. She lost her job, her friends, her social standing. She tried to contact me to apologize, to beg for forgiveness, but I refused to see her. She had made her choice, and now she had to live with the consequences. Gwyneth and I grew closer during the investigation. We shared our pain, our anger, our hopes for the future. We found solace in each other's company. One evening, after a long day of meetings with lawyers and investigators, we sat on my porch watching the sunset. Thank you, Cadman, Gwyneth said. You helped me more than you know. We helped each other, I replied. We both needed someone to lean on. She smiled, her eyes sparkling in the fading light. What are you going to do now? I asked. I don't know, she said. Start over, I guess. Rebuild my life. Me too, I said. We sat in silence for a moment, the only sound the chirping of crickets. Then Gwyneth reached out and took my hand. Maybe we can do it together, she said. I looked at her, my heart filled with hope. Maybe, just maybe, there was a chance for happiness after all. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. Inez left town, seeking a fresh start somewhere far away. I heard rumors that she was working as a waitress in a small diner, a far cry from her glamorous life as a real estate agent. I didn't feel any satisfaction in her misfortune. I just felt sad. Sad for what we had lost, sad for the choices she had made. Gwyneth and I started dating. We took things slow, cautiously, aware of the emotional baggage we both carried. But we found comfort in each other's honesty, in our shared experiences, in our mutual desire for a better future. A year later, we got married. It was a small ceremony, just close friends and family. The rain was falling again, but this time it didn't feel like a storm. It felt like a blessing. I had found love again. in the most unexpected of places. I had learned that betrayal can be devastating, but it can also be an opportunity for growth, for resilience, for a new beginning. And I had learned that sometimes the greatest revenge is simply moving on and finding happiness. Life has a funny way of working out. I never would have imagined that my wife's affair would lead me to find love again with the betrayed wife of her lover. It's a strange twist of fate, but I'm grateful for the happiness I've found with Gwyneth. We've built a life together based on honesty, trust, and mutual respect. And while the pain of Anese's betrayal will always be a part of my past, it no longer defines my future. Remember, even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a new beginning. Don't let betrayal define you. Let it be a catalyst for growth and a reminder of your strength. You deserve happiness, and you will find it again.